Thank you, the right honorable speakers, distinguished colleagues. On page 14, the first sheet, my name was written as absent of votes and proceedings of Monday, 29 July 2019, and I was on 6 on that day. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Desmond. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, colleagues. I also found my name under the absent list, but I sought the permission of the Speaker. Please, take note. Page 15.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, may I observe that item 5 on page 15, where Honorable Shupule was reporting his committee findings, especially in line 3, sir, it would appear that the word center there should be centers, so that we don't limit the horizon of the committee to one particular center. I think there are about 57 of such centers in Lagos State. So I think the word center there should read centers. Speaker. Okay. Also, Mr. Speaker, sir, in item 6, I will think that the word post in line 1 of item 6 should be posts, since there are two different posts in our purview, sir. The posts, not the post. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Speaker.
I have examined the votes and proceedings of Monday, 29 July 2019, and approval is here granted. Mr. Clerk, any message from the Governor?
Right, Honorable Speaker, distinguished Honorable Members, we have the correspondence from His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, addressed to Right Honorable Moyosore Ajayi, oversight the Speaker, Lagos State House of Assembly, and it is titled Appointment of Chief Judge of Lagos State. With your kind permission, I'll read the contents of the letter. The Right Honorable Speaker is invited to kindly recall that in accordance with Section 271, subsection 4 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, I convey the approval for the appointment of Honorable Justice Kazeem O. Aluba as the 17th Chief Judge of Lagos State in acting capacity with effect from Tuesday, 11th June 2019, being the most senior judge of the High Court of Lagos, following the statutory retirement of the erstwhile Chief Judge of Lagos State, Honorable Justice Owoye Oke, with effect from Monday, 10th June 2019. The appointment of the new acting Chief Judge, which was based on the well-established and institutionalized culture of merit, transparency, seniority, and professional competence, was consequent upon the need to prevent vacuum in the state judiciary pending the recommendation of the National Judicial Council. Given the above and consequent upon its recommendation by the NJC, I, in fulfillment of the requirement of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, hereby convey the appointment of Honorable Justice Kazeem O. Aluba for the consideration and ratification of the honorable members of the 9th Assembly as the 17th Chief Judge of Lagos State, please. While looking forward to your usual prompt response, please accept the assurances of my regards for your good self and the entire members of our esteemed State House of Assembly. Signed, His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. Thank you, sir.
Any other announcement?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable members, we have in the chamber two former members, Honorable Abubakar Laji Balogun of the 7th Assembly and Honorable Kamal Aloronje of 4th Assembly. I also wish to announce the presence of 14 students from the Senate arm of the Association of Medical Students, University of Lagos, led by Amina Taiwo, Senate President, and Ezil Ichesi at the gallery to observe the House proceedings. Thank you, sir.
Petition.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Matter of other public importance, non-personal explanation, none. Report. A majority leader.
I wish to report to the House that from 5th to 8th of August this year, myself and some other members of the House, as well as the clerk and some members of staff, were led by the Right Honorable Speaker on a 4-day summit of the National Conference of State Legislators held in Nashville, Tennessee, United States of America. The summit was equally attended by delegates from all over the world, and we were able to interact extensively. The objective of the annual summit is to improve the quality and effectiveness of state legislature, to promote policy innovation and communication among state legislators, ensure state legislators have strong, cohesive voice in policy decision, as well as to provide opportunity for cross-fertilization of ideas among legislation and support staff towards improving the standard of legislation all over the world. We were able to attend different sessions on oversight, as well as some other issues bothering legislators throughout the world, part of which the task force on state and local taxation, changing cyber security landscape, and we were able to attend a general session which host was the living legend Dolly Parton on her policy of imagination library, a gift of giving books program to over 1.4 million children all over the world. Mr. Speaker, we were also able to visit the Tennessee Legislative branch of the government, where we saw the different innovations as well as opportunity to visit the hallowed chambers and committee rooms. In all, Mr. Speaker, it was really an interesting exposure, and members of staff as well as honorable that attended the program really showed their gratitude to the House and the Speaker for providing them with this opportunity to get interacted with other members of the Parliament throughout the world. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Honorable, I'm not aware of any reports from you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is not a before actually. I just want to seek your indulgence.
You just want to do what?
I just want to seek for your permission to extend the presentation of the report of the other committee by a week, sir.
Okay, granted.
Thank you, sir.
of the day, Honorable Abu.
The Right Honorable Speaker, fellow members, I stand before you this afternoon to lay the report of the 16-man ad hoc committee on the screening of the governor's nominees into the Lagos State Executive Council. I so lay.
Thank you. Yeah, let me seize this moment to recognize the presence of our former members, Honorable Abdubakir Ladi Balogun, you are welcome. Honorable Kamal Olorunje, you are welcome. Honorable Ademoye Adekunle, you are welcome. Honorable Olorunrinu Dipo, you are all welcome. We thank you for coming. We also have the presence of 14 students from the Senate arm of the Association of Medical Students, University of Lagos, led by Abmi Taiwo, Senate President, and Izem Uchechi at the gallery. You are all welcome. We thank you for coming. You have Majority Leader.
Vice Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, present in and around the chamber are nominees of the governor of the state, nominees to the Executive Council, for purpose of appearing before the House to be seen and heard, and not further questioning that having been done by the screening committee. Since they are strangers to this House, to enable them participate in the proceeding of today, I wish to move that a rule of the House that enables such, which is Rule 129 of the Harmonized Rules of Southwest State Assembly, be activated. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Council.
Speaker, I rise to second the motion of the
All in favor say aye. Those against nay, the ayes have it. Once again, let me welcome the governor nominees. I thank you for honoring our invitation. And I'm also aware you have appeared before the committee set up by this House. And it is proper to also appear before the whole House and largely before the people of Lagos to let them into those who will be representing their interests in the cabinet of Lagos State for the next 4 years. For the next 4 years, I hope and pray so. So we thank you for coming. The essence of inviting you today is to introduce yourself, tell us brief stories about yourself. And I'm sure this is not going to take much of your time. Well, I have the list before me stating how you arrive. So I'm going to follow the list. Number one, I think there should also be consideration for ranking as we have it in the House as well. I think we have old hands among you, those who have served in the past. We should give them that respect. Give them that respect. I hope you will the rest of you won't be offended. I can't hear anything from you. Let me appeal to those in the gallery. We beg for your cooperation, and that is to say we need quietness around here. And I'm sure you are going to observe that. We don't want to clear the gallery by asking you to go out. So please, for the few hours we are going to attend to the nominees, please. Are they all seated? Well, you are welcome once again. I'm sure you heard me at the back there. The nominees. Yeah. So as I was saying, there will be consideration for those who have served in the past. Honor the same must be given to those that deserve it. Well, we start with Mr. Bello. You can come forward. You are welcome, Mr. Bello. This to you and the rest of nominees. We received a letter from His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, introducing you to the House as his nominee, and the rest. Fulfilling the request of the 1999 Constitution as amended, we are bound to screen and listen to you. Having appeared before the committee of the House, it's also necessary to meet with the whole House and allow the Lagosians generally to also know those who will be representing their interests in the cabinet of the state. So the essence of inviting you today is to tell us a brief story about yourself without taking or wasting time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The distinguished honorable members, my name is Bello. my name is Bello. I was born 1st July 1961. I'm a lawyer, a political scientist, and a journalist. Until this time, I was the Secretary of the State Government, and previously I had served as the Honorable Commissioner for the Environment under the administration of Ahmed Tinubu, as well as Governor Babatunde Raji Fashola, and I served as the Secretary of the State Government under the Governor Hakeem Ambode. I've been nominated by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and I feel maybe I don't know what to say really, but what I can just say is that I feel honored, and I feel, I would say that I appreciate it, and I'm willing to serve again, and I'm ready to give my best to the state in whatever capacity I am posted to. Distinguished honorable members, this is just to assure you that I'm ready to serve, and I'll be willing to answer any other relevant questions you may have. Thank you very much.
Open the window enough for us to, get into you. Tell us about your background, your school, and also your work, and marital status.
Well, beginning from primary school, I had my primary education at Ansarudin Primary School, Okigokpo, in Lagos Island. I was also born in Lagos Island. I had my secondary school education at Ansarudin College, Isolo, in Lagos. I was educated at the University of Ibadan. I had my first degree in political science in 1984, and I also had my master's degree in international law and diplomacy at the University of Lagos in 1986-87, and I became a lawyer in the year 2001. I was called to the bar in 2002, and since then, well, I've been in journalism from beginning. When I finished my youth service in 85, I was in journalism. I worked for Concord newspapers. I was variously the deputy features editor, a political editor, national Concord editor, and Sunday Concord editor, and I was also the chairman editorial board of This Day newspapers. And I was also a speechwriter to Bashaw Abiola. I participated in the struggle for June 12, and we were together with Yashua Jubola Ahmed Tinubu before the the President Republic came into being.
Thank you very much. You can take a seat. Let me call Mr. Bello Wasi. Is you Wasi? Okay, the man that left. Okay, you can go back and take a seat. Okay. Okay, Mr. Olatunji Oluwaronsi Latif Abdulatif. Introduce yourself.
My name is Wasiu Bolan Lawal. I was born on the 24th of July 1970 in Lagos. I'm from Ojora, Aromire, Chokun, and Oniru royal families of Lagos. I had my first school leaving certificate at Holy Trinity Primary School, Butero, Lagos Island. From there to St. Gregory's College, Ikoyi, Lagos. From St. Gregory's College, I attended the University of Port Harcourt. I studied botany. University of Port Harcourt, I graduated and served. And I was employed at the Raw Materials Research and Development Council under the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology. I was employed in Lagos and deployed to Ondo State. I was in Ondo State as a scientific officer for 1.5 years, 6 months in Lagos, before I joined the Nigerian Police Force as a cadet assistant superintendent of police. I was trained at the Police Academy, Wudi, Kano, deployed to Kebbi State Command. From Kebbi State Command in 1999, I joined Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the ADC in 1999. I've had the privilege of serving 3 governors consecutively. I'm humbled and honored to be here, Mr. Speaker, the Right Honorable Mr. Honorable Mudashir Ajayi Obasa, the principal members, distinguished members of this Alo Chamber. I'm happy that I came from Papa local government. I have 2 honorable members from Papa here. One of them is the principal officer, Honorable Muiwajimo, and my very good sister, Honorable Lasbat Mujisola Miranda. In the last 20 years, I've had that privilege to serve Lagos State. But in the last 10 years, since 2009, I became Senior Special Assistant to Governor Fashola on Special Projects. 2011, I moved on to becoming the Commissioner for Cooperative Agriculture and Cooperative. From there, with my experience and knowledge of urban challenges, I was again honored to become the Honorable Commissioner for Housing. In the course of serving the state and in the course of serving my state, the only state I can call my own, I've also gone through a lot of capacity building courses. I've been to School of Oriental and African Studies to study violence, conflict, and development at the MSc level, the War Team School, Advanced Management Program, that's University of Pennsylvania. Also Wharton School. I did International Housing Finance System there in 2007. I've had to do a lot of other leadership courses. Harvard Kennedy School of Government 2006, anti-terrorism course in Tel Aviv in 2005. Distinguished members, I'm happy to have come back to have been nominated by Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu as a commissioner, and I'll be ready to give Lagos my best shot. I've been passionate about Lagos, laser focused, and I'll be more laser focused to the development of Lagos State. This is a state of over 22 million. A lot of urban challenges are coming on a daily basis. As I can tell you proudly that I'm also enrolled at the London School of Economics and Political Science for the Executive Masters in Cities. That is where we do a lot of urban challenges, spatial planning to reduce poverty, spatial planning to reduce transportation challenges, spatial planning to reduce environmental challenges, and so many other urban challenges that is common with other mega cities. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm ready to serve my state, and I'll be ready to do to go to any other office that I'll be able to work with other colleagues of mine, the public service, and also the identified stakeholders in whatever sector I'm opportune to serve. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
So this is not a church, you don't have to clap, there's no clapping here. Sorry, why when the police was there checking point?
Mr. Speaker, yes, we are checking
Okay,
points,
thank you very
and
much.
we did the right.
I hope you checked very well.
Thank you very
And
much.
how come the first one that left did not tell us about his marital life, and you also? So, what are you?
I'm happily married with children.
Thank you very much. You can go back and take your seat. Well, let me call on our own a brother, a friend, a colleague that is a former member of this house, Honorable Dr. Wale Ahmed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and distinguished members of this august house. I am Adewale Ahmed. I was born in Agege on the 3rd of May 1965. I attended Bishop Oluwole Memorial Primary School, Agege, and War Islam College, Agege. From there, I went to University of Sokoto, now Usman Danfodio University. That was where I qualified as a doctor. I was in practice for some time until 20 years ago exactly, when by the grace of God I had the opportunity to represent Constituency 2 Agege in this same honorable house. And while here, I just thought sometime when you are a doctor and people are discussing, they will say, is the injection we are talking about? You keep quiet. So while I was here, I just went to Unilag, took masters in international law and diplomacy, and masters in humanitarian and refugee management. After I left here, I have also had the opportunity of being a commissioner in this state, and I passed through this house, and very loud honor was done me as a former member. And I want to thank you once again for that. After that, I had the opportunity also of being secretary of our great party, the All Progressive Congress. And this time around, with this nomination, I thank God, I thank our leaders, I thank His Excellency for giving me this opportunity. And I want to assure you all, Mr. Speaker and distinguished members of the House, that I always feel part of here, and I will always feel so. I'll be ready to serve the state in whatever capacity as the governor may deem fit or find me useful. I want to tell you that I'm married with children, and I'm always available politically. Thank you, sir.
You mentioned serving as the secretary of the party, APC.
Yes, sir.
You didn't mention your post with that party. Where you were.
Thank you, sir. I was publicity secretary of that party. If I may speak Yoruba, John. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You can take your seat. You can take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I think we have exhausted the ranking. Oh, okay, we still have Olatunji.
Good morning, the Right Honorable Speaker. Good morning, Principal Officers. And good morning, Honorable Members. I am Honorable Dr. Mrs. Lola Akonde. I'm a politician. I'm an educationist and administrator too. I attended Queen's School Ibadan for my secondary school, after which I moved on to University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, where I studied botany. And I had my youth service in Cadbury, Nigeria Limited, in the Technical Services Department, precisely quality control. After that, I was employed. I got married, and I was later employed by the Teaching Service Commission in Lagos State, where I taught for about 7 years. And because my first degree was not in education, and because of my quest for more knowledge, I went to University of Lagos for my postgraduate diploma in education, and then I came back still to the teaching service arena, where I taught for some few more years. And then I resigned because I thought I wanted to be on my own. But during that time, I like being busy. So I went back to the University of Lagos again, where I had my master's in public admin, knowing fully well that I am a politician and I just must strengthen myself with all necessary qualifications because I had been into politics since 1991. So during a period, I was made a LSHA board member where we performed well. And in 2007, I contested for the seat of this honorable house, Lagos State House of Assembly. And I represented Ikeja constituency 2. And during that time, I was a principal officer holding the post of a deputy chief whip. I came back again in 2011 to this very respectable house, very vibrant house, which I'm very proud of being part of up to today. Rather, everybody called me an honorable member than address me as Chief Mrs. or something like that. And I came back, and I was also made a principal officer, this time around as a deputy majority leader. When I left in 2015, I was called to serve as a commissioner in the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, where I actually gave a good account of my stewardship. And I just want to tell this house that I'm still ready to serve in whatever position that may be given to me, that is any ministry, because I have the wealth of experience and education, and hence I can really manage whichever ministry is given to me. I want to use this opportunity to say a big thank you to Jagaban Ashwaju and His Excellency Mr. Babatunde Babajide Sanwo-Olu, as well as my constituents and the leaders in my constituencies, all of them, without leaving any one of them behind, but especially Chief Mrs. Kenny Nelson. I thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, you can go. Okay. Mr. Prince Olanrewaju Elegushi.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, principal officers of this assembly, distinguished members. Prince Olanrewaju Elegushi. I was born on the 11th of October 1970 into the royal family of Elegushi of Ikate in Lagos. I attended Yaba Model School for my primary education. Later proceeded to Zumratu Islamia High School for my secondary education. I have my tertiary education at Lagos State Polytechnic, and also for my postgraduate education, postgraduate certificate, I attended Metropolitan School of Management Business. I met a very strong political platform within the family.
and I quickly took that advantage to contest the election of 5th of December 1998 for the position of councillor under the party then, AD. I won the election. I was also elected the majority leader of Etiosa Legislative Council. I left at the expiration of that tenure. And I was also appointed the supervisor for health under the caretaker arrangement. Then I contested again for the position of a councillor in Etiosa local government. That is after the creation of additional 37 LCD. So after the election, I was elected the council leader of that local government. And I left in 2007, and I contested again for the position of chairman for that local government, Etiosa local government. I won, and I was the chairman from 2008 to 2014. I ran 2 terms. In 2015, I was appointed into the cabinet of Lagos State, and I was then the special advisor to the governor on transportation. And in early 2018, I was redeployed to Central Business District as a special advisor to the governor. We left the administration at the expiration of the tenure of the governor. So I see this opportunity as a call to service, and I want to promise that no circumstances will affect my performance towards the development of Lagos State. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Mr. Hakeem, Faham.
Good afternoon, the Right Honorable Speaker of the House, Principal Officers, and distinguished members of the House of Assembly. My name is Hakeem Bukola Faham. I was born on April 6, 1958, to the farm family of Oluwole, Lagos. I started my education at the Mercy Square School, Aroloya, Lagos. And then I continued on to the Children's House School, Ibara, Abeokuta. There I obtained the primary school living certificate. I proceeded on to St. Peter's College, Abeokuta, to do my secondary education, and later on to the Federal School of Science and the Federal School of Arts and Science, Ogoja. Later, in 1978, I decided to pursue my studies in the United States of America. I attended Ohio University, graduated from there, and I proceeded on to the University of the District of Columbia, which is a land-grant university in the District of Columbia, and I did my master in business administration. Prior to graduating from the university, I was offered position to maintain the computer labs. So I started my career at the university as a computer lab technician, and I moved on all the way to become the chief information officer at the university. It got to a point when I said to myself that I've done a lot for the university, bringing innovative solutions from mainframe computing to client server and then to cloud computing, that it's time to move on. I applied for a position at Essential Federal Services, which is a subsidiary of Essential LLP, the leading management consulting firm in the world. I got a job there, and I was deployed to several U.S. departments, from Department of Homeland Security, Department of Agriculture, Department of Health and Human Services, where I was the lead release manager for the Obamacare health insurance scheme. Finally, I worked with the Social Security Administration before looking back and say it's time to go home. At the call of my mentor that I should come and serve Nigeria, I took the opportunity, and I believe I'm here today. Of course, I started January 10, 2018, when I faced the House here for confirmation as the Commissioner for Science and Technology. I would like to continue to serve the state because of the challenges ahead of us. The world economy today is moving towards services, service-oriented economy. Lagos State is prepared to take the lead, not only in Nigeria, but in Africa, in that sphere. And I believe that we have a lot of untapped resources that we can train to become programmers, to become data analysts, to become engineers, to become medical doctors, and so on. But we have to start somewhere. We're already on the journey. We have to take advantage of technology to improve the business of the state. It is very important in this age that we have a population of 22 million people. We cannot continue to do business as usual. Technology is the way. And I am prepared to serve in any capacity whereby I will bring my experience to move the state forward, because ìlọsíwájú ìlú Èkó ó ti di àjùmọ̀ṣe. Thank you. Oh, I'm married with 4 children.
Thank you. That was Bello.
Good afternoon, Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Mudasiru Ajayi Obasa, the principal officers, distinguished members. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Uzamat Folashayo Akindele Yusuf. I was born on the 25th of May, 1974 in Ile-Ife. I attended Ansarudin Primary School in Ile-Ife and Seventh-day Adventist Grammar School there in Ile-Ife. I had Bachelor of Pharmacy in University of Lagos. I served with the Nigerian Military Authority at Division 68 in Yaba for my internship. And thereafter, I joined Jokem Pharmaceutical as a community pharmacist. In 2005, I launched a company, Muzarok Nigeria Limited, which was into oil and gas, Muzarok Pharmaceutical, and Beta Silver Crown, which I was the managing director, CEO, from 2005 to 2011. I contested for the place of House of Assembly in 2011, but I lost at the primary. I became supervisory councillor for Agric, Rural and Social Development in Agbado Okedo LCDA in 2012 to 2014. In 2013, I launched my pet project, which is Goodwill Project, to empower people in my community. 2014, 2015, in 2015, October 19, I was appointed as the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Social Development. So January 11, 2018, when I was deployed to Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment. So the end of last administration. I'm happily married with children. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You can take your seat. Mr. Falabi Ayotayo.
Right Honorable of this hallowed house, Honorable House, the principal officers of this much respected house, and honorable members. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, mass. My name is Afolabi Wahid Ayotayo. I was born in Agege on April 13th, 1965. I attended Okosia Memorial Primary School for my primary education and proceeded to Awori Anglican Comprehensive High School, Ipaja, Lagos,
for my secondary education. Thereafter to the Federal School of Arts and Science, Sokoto, for my advanced level education. I gained admission to the University of Lagos in 1984 and then graduated in 1987 and then proceeded for my NYC in Bauchi State, where I served with the Trumpeter newspaper as crime reporter. I came back to Lagos and picked up an appointment with the Punch newspaper. First of all, as crime correspondent and Governor's Office correspondent. I resigned in 1991 to start a community newspaper called Agege News. It was through this process that I was able to mingle with community leaders and politicians, where I got interested in politics. In December 2003, I was appointed as a member of the Caretaker Committee of the Alliance for Democracy. Thereafter, I was appointed as Secretary to Local Government in 2004. I held the position 3 consecutive terms till 2014 October, before being appointed as a member of the Lagos State House of Assembly Service Commission in 2018. Here I am before you in this Alo chamber as a nominee of the Governor of Lagos State, and through the efforts of my leaders in my constituency, under the able leadership of our Speaker, the Right Honorable Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa. I'm happily married with children. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, please. Mr. Samuel Ejili.
Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, Honorable Principal Officers of the House, Honorable Members of this hallowed chamber, my name are Samuel Aweruswo Egube, and I was born March 5, 1969 at Uveli North Local Government Area of Delta State. I attended my primary school at Agbado Primary School in Benin City, and my secondary school also at Edo College, Benin City, where I graduated with 6th distinction. I then proceeded to study engineering at the University of Benin, where I graduated with a second-class upper division in engineering, specializing in civil and structural engineering. From there, I served with the Nigerian Defense Academy in Kaduna, after which I began my career. I have an MBA from the prestigious International School of Management, IESA, in Barcelona, Spain. And I have various professional qualifications, namely, I'm a member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. I'm also a member of the Council of the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN. I'm an honorable senior member of the Institute of Bankers and a member of the Nigerian Institute of Management. I'm also a fellow of the Institute of Credit Administration. I've had significant experiences in several sectors of this economy. namely in the engineering sector, in the financial services sector, and in the business consulting sector. A lot of these experiences were gathered from very prestigious institutions like Arthur Andersen and Company, which is currently called KPMG Professionals in Nigeria, United Bank for Africa, NNB PLC, First Bank of Nigerian PLC, and Diamond Bank, where I left as corporate banking director and head of directorate. My experiences across these industries span over 30 years post-qualification experience and 20 to 25 years of that in very senior positions in the financial services sector, doing a lot of corporate banking business and structured transactions. When you look at my contribution to the economy and to Lagos, you will see a significant amount of them in my curriculum vitae. But just to underscore it, anytime we talk and rejoice in Lagos about what we have achieved by attracting Dangote refineries into our environment, we would also like to acknowledge that we participated in providing the funding that made that possible. Also, when we talk about the LCC project, which is one of the celebrated PPP projects across Africa, right? We also participated from the banking industry to make the funding available for those transactions to become live. When we celebrate also the telecom industry in Nigeria who have had their home in Lagos, we will also note that I played a significant role among the committee of bankers that provided funding for that industry to take off. On the political side, I was honored to be invited by His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos, during the campaign to participate as co-chair in a committee that crafted the broad strategy for the electioning campaign when it comes to the manifesto that we use for the election. I was also privileged to be called upon as a member of the transition committee, which also tried to midwife the transition of the current government. I participate with small businesses. I'm an expert in resident program currently also called Lagos Business School. Apart from that, I'm a writer who has authored about 4 books, and I play and I have 2 children.
Thank you. You mentioned LCC. Which one is LCC? The one in charge of the toll gates. Which one? Thank you very much. You can take your seat. Bolaji, Cecilia, Dada.
Good morning, Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Principal Officers, distinguished Honorable Members. My name is Bolaji Cecilia Dada. I was born on the 9th of July, 1966, here in Lagos. I had my primary education in St. Catherine's Model School, Surulere, where I proceeded to Lady of Apostle Secondary School, secondary education. On my quest to become a medical doctor, I had issues with physics, so I had to retake my papers in Lagos State School of Basic Studies, where I had my WAEC. From there, I proceeded to Lagos State University, where I had my first degree in chemistry. Then I had my youth service in Merrill Guarantee Trust here in Lagos. After that, I joined my father in his petrol business as the manager of his National Oil Service Station. Then at some point, I became the dealer. National Oil, now Corn Oil. At that time, I realized that that business was one of the businesses that you don't have to go out to look for customers or to be friendly with your customers. Your customers will want to be your friend, so that when there is fuel scarcity, they can always get fuel freely without having to queue. From there, while I was there, I joined politics. And at some point, about 2000 February, I was appointed as a member of the Executive Council of the Lagos State Sports Council. I was the only female member, and I was the only full-time member, apart from the chairman of the board. I was, while serving on that board, I was the chairman of the Welfare Committee, and I led the athletes of Lagos State to various sports festivals in Bauchi, Edo, and Abuja. When I finished serving there, because of my contributions to sports development in Lagos State, I was given an award by Lagos State Sports Council and the Ministry of Youth Sports and Social Development. From there, I was appointed the secretary to Apapa local government. While I was there, my responsibility was to liaise with the state government and also to prepare the executive council meetings. When I finished as the secretary to the local government, I went for my master's in corporate governance in Leeds Metropolitan University, UK. And when I came back, I became the vice chairman of our Papa local government, 2 terms, and then the executive secretary of our Papa local government till May 2016. While I was secretary to our Papa local government, I was there for 18 months. I built the Liverpool jetty. I completed primary schools. And as the vice chairman, I was the supervisor. I doubled as the supervisor for environment. I initiated the Operation Keep Our Papa Clean Corps, which is still there. I want to thank God for this opportunity. There are over 20 million people in Lagos. There are a lot of qualified people, but God in His mercy made it possible for me to be counted amongst the few. I also want to thank the leadership of our great party, from our father, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to our governor, His Excellency Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, and the deputy governor, His Excellency Hamzat, I want to thank them for this opportunity and all the leaders of our great party and this hallowed chamber for giving me the opportunity to serve yet again. I pray that the Lord will give me the grace to serve and serve well. I am married with beautiful children. I'm a Christian. I was recently ordained as an assistant pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Thank you very much.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Okay, you can go and sit. Mr. Samuel Obafemi George.
Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Principal Officers, distinguished Honorable members of this great hallowed chamber. My name is Samuel Obafemi George. I must say that I feel very honored to be in this hallowed chamber, Right Honorable Speaker. Undoubtedly the most peaceful, most progressive, most productive hallowed chamber in this country. I was born on the 9th of June 1974 in Ibadan to the family of late Chief Benjamin Adekoke George of the Sheriolofi Atekoye in Ido and Princess Mrs. Olushola George ni Konoji Akran. I started my primary education in Children's Home School in Ibadan in 1977. I finished in 1985. I proceeded to Methodist High School in Ibadan, and I finished in Methodist Boys High School, Lagos. I obtained my first degree in political science from Lagos State University, Ojo. I obtained a master's degree in political science from the University of Lagos, Akoka. And I also obtained a master's degree in international law and diplomacy, also from the University of Lagos, Akoka. I've attended various courses within and outside of the country, and I'm also a US certified behavioral analyst. I started my business career in 2000 after my youth service in the family business. After 3 years, I picked up an employment at readersworld.com. In 2005, I resigned as the CEO and set up my own real estate company, which I've run from then up until now. We've engaged in construction, consultancy, portfolio management, advisory services. I'm passionate about the youth. And my passion drove me into meeting the needs early 2002 when I began to reach out to secondary school students across Lagos State. I'm convinced that for us to have a bright future, we need to invest in our youth. And through my NGO, over the years since then, I've reached out to almost 30,000 secondary school students. I've given a scholarship, I've set up libraries for them, I've mentored some of them. And through my NGO, I've also reached out to university students across Southwest. Apart from that, my journey in life also took me into active politics. And in 2007, early 2008, I joined the then ACN in Etiosa local government because I got tired of just sitting down and being an onlooker. After joining the then ACN, it dawned on me that our youths also needed to be encouraged because that was my passion. So we began to empower youth within Etiosa local government, sending them for vocational skills acquisition program, setting them up in small businesses, giving them stipend. Over the years, we increased it to women, and it's been very successful. And my impact within the party, when our great party APC was formed in 2014, I was elected as the assistant youth leader in recognition of my contribution to the lives of the youth within Etiosa local government. I didn't stop there. 2 years further down the line, I contested for the chairmanship of Etiosa local government, which was unsuccessful, but I thank God for the experience. In 2017, my contribution to the life of youth in Southwest was internationally recognized when I was nominated as the first Nigerian ever to participate in the Austria Leadership Program. In 2018, prior to the general elections of early this year, I was beckoned upon to coordinate the PYO support group for Lagos State. Distinguished members of this House, so far that has been my experience, sir. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. I'm married with children.
Thank you very much. You can take your seat. Honorable Boruf Akideru Fatai.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable principal officers, distinguished members, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Moruf Akinderu Fatai. I was born January 6, 1965 in Mushin. I went to St. John Catholic Primary School, Oshodi, between 1971 and 1977, Ikeja Grammar School, Oshodi, between 1977 and 1983. I went to the University of Ibadan to study archaeology between 1985 and 1989. I joined Medilot Pharmaceutical Company after my service that I did at Bembe State, Awoyinka, in 1991. I was in the operation, then I left again for Nobel Pharmaceutical before I was privileged to come into government in 2001. I served as special assistant in the office of Special Advisor, Political and Executive Bureau between 2001 and 2003. I was privileged to be appointed special assistant to the governor of Lagos State, Ahmed Tinubu, as special advisor, senior assistant, special assistant, special duties and intergovernmental relations. After that, I was privileged to be sent to Abuja by my people, the people of Oshodi, 2007 to 2011, where I served as Secretary Southwest Caucus in the House of Representatives. 2011, I was privileged again to be sent by my people to represent them again. I became Chairman Legislative Compliance. That is making sure that the motions and decisions of the House of Representatives are respected by the executive branch. I later, from 2015 to today, I am into private business. My political life started immediately after my youth service. I was a member of SDP. I was privileged to serve as secretary to the ward. I was also, at a point, assistant ward chairman and acting ward chairman. I was also a legal officer in my local government. And I can say that politically I've gotten myself involved in so many activities right from the university. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am a member of Nigerian Institute of Management. I'm a Charter Secretary, Associate Member, Institute of Charter Secretary and Administrator, Nigeria. And I have a higher certificate in law, University of London. I'm married with children, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Mr. Olusha Gudaudu.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, sir, principal members of the House of Assembly, all other honorable members of the House of Assembly. My name is Ganiu Olusegun Daudu. I was born in Lagos Island on the 20th of September 1963 to the family of Alhaji Ganiu Olawale Daudu and Alhaja Wonuola Abegbe Daudu in Fashola. I had my primary education at Ireti Primary School, Ikoyi, and finished at K. Kotun Memorial School, Surulere. My secondary education was at St. Gregory's College, Ikoyi, Lagos, for my O and A level. I had my university education at the University of Buckingham in the United Kingdom, where I studied law. I was called to the Nigerian bar in January 1990. I've been practicing law all through. After my call to bar, I worked at the law firm of Johnson & Johnson Solicitors, where I grew to be the managing solicitor. It was during that time I was called to serve Lagos State by the then governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in June 1999. I was appointed as the Honorable Commissioner for Youth, Sports and Social Development, where I served till 2003. After which, I went back to my law practice. I became the principal partner, Daudu & Co. Solicitors. During the political period of this republic, I was a founding member of Alliance for Democracy, founding member, Action Congress, founding member, Action Congress of Nigeria, and founding member, All Progressives Congress. During the campaign for this election, I was an advisor to Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu during the campaign, who emerged as the governor of Lagos State. I'm married with children. I'm a member of the Nigerian Bar Association, fellow Institute of Corporate Administration of Nigeria, fellow Emergency Crisis and Management Institute of Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, sir, I have been called to serve again the people of Lagos State, and I can proudly say I am ready and willing to serve this state. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Sholape, is it Ahmed or Ahmed? That's it.
Good afternoon, Vice Honorable Speaker, Honorable Principal Officers. Ashalape Hammond. I was born in...
Is it Ahmad or Ahmed?
Hammond, sir.
Ahmad.
Hammond.
Ahmed.
Pardon? Which is where I did, and the University of Ibadan. I studied economics and graduated with a second class upper, after which I moved to Lagos, and I have lived in Lagos for most of the rest of my life. I did my NYSC at a bank, NBC International, which is now part of First Bank. I worked in risk management before moving on to Accenture, which is, again, one of the largest management consulting firms in the world. I worked there up until 2007, and then I left to go and do my MBA in France and Singapore at one of the world's best universities, known as INSEAD. I moved back to Nigeria to provide support for small and medium-scale enterprises. I started my own consulting firm, 10 Talents, which did this for a while. I also ran a financial advisory firm before starting an innovation hub for entrepreneurs known as Impact Hub Lagos. I've had the privilege of being part of a few national initiatives. I've worked with CBN on Project Eagles. I've worked with the Security and Exchange Commission on the Capital Markets Transformation Plan. I've worked with NEMASA on the Maritime Bond Development Plan as well as various advisory roles. I'm a member of the board of the Nigerian-Norwegian Chamber of Commerce, and I'm very interested in, particularly passionate about young people and small businesses. I had the privilege of serving on the transition committee into this new administration, and I look forward to be able to provide some support to Lagos in achieving the plans that we have identified in there. I'm married to Brian Hammond, and we have a beautiful 3-year-old daughter.
You see, some of us that have ear problems, I find it very difficult to, it's like when Snoop Dogg, or what do you call it? So you have to rewind and replay to get the lyrics at times. So just so I was thinking the microphone was faulty, but I realized that at least many people have spoken before you. But no problem. We will go and rewind after you have gone. I hear you clearly. But the Ahmed or Ahmed, where is he from? Is he name of Nigeria? Okay. Where you said I was thinking of Epa. Yeah, talking of me. It's all right. Thank you. You can take your seat. Kabiru Ahmed. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and distinguished members of this noble house. My name is Ahmed Kabiru Abdullahi. I was born in the year 1966, on 29th of December 1966, at Agboguleri area of Agege, in Agege local government. I attended St. Peter's Blessed Primary School in Tabon area of Agege, where I finished with, obtained the first school leaving certificate.
Don't mind them. You just, don't mind them. You keep on rolling.
I later attended Iloro Grammar School, Agege, where I obtained the WASC GCE ordinary level. I then proceeded to the School of Basic Studies, Ahmed Bello University, where I studied for the advanced level IJMB, which I passed and I got enrolled through direct entry into the Ahmed Bello University to study architecture. I graduated from the university in 1990 with a BSc degree, Bachelor of Science degree in architecture. Having met the requirement then, I was asked to proceed to study for the MSc degree, which I finished in 1992. I later came back. I served in the NYSC scheme in Kaduna State with multi-systems. I later came back to Lagos started work with Participant Properties Limited in Victoria Island. Later in 1997, I contested election, which we won a joint ticket. I ran as the vice chairman of Agege local government, which we won, and I serve as the vice chairman of Agege local government, the then Agege local government, including Ajayi. Thereafter, I participated in the struggle that ushered in this republic with the support for our great party, Alliance for Democracy, and in the year 2001, the then governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, appointed me as the chairman of the Lagos State Planning and Environmental Monitoring Authority, LASPEMA. That was the era when I had the opportunity of participating in laudable projects such as the Lagos Model City Program. We also propelled the Marina City projects, which was not to be. It is still lying somewhere on the table. Thereafter, I also got appointed by Governor Olatunji Fashola to serve as chairman and also general manager of the same Lagos State Planning and Environmental Monitoring Authority. In 2015, the governor of Lagos State appointed me as the executive secretary, Lagos State Water Regulatory Commission, where I served till date. During the course of these activities, I also participated in political activities consistently right through the metamorphosis of our party from AD to AC to ACN and now to APC. I also led the Arewa community, where we concentrated in reorganizing the community for meaningful development and participatory democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, I have all participated in political activities at the very grassroots level. So it is a great honor done to me by His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, in recognizing this participation of grassroots activities to consider me worthy of service to Lagos State. And I also thank his deputy, Mr. Hamzat, not forgetting my leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I will be found wanting if I fail to mention the contribution of the Right Honorable Speaker in our tutelage in the politics of Agege. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much. Yes, I'm married with children. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Miss, you can take your seat. Mr. Olanike Odusote.
The Right Honourable Speaker, Honourable Principal Members, distinguished Honourable Members, my name is Olalere Odusote. I was born on November 30th, 1971. I attended Maryhill Convent School, Ibadan, where I got my first school leaving certificate. After that, I attended Federal Government College, Ilorin, and then the International School where I got my WAEC certificate GCE. Subsequently, I proceeded to University of Ibadan, where I studied mechanical engineering. Sometime after that, I went to Pace University, New York, where I got my MBA. Since then, I've attended several leadership and professional training courses at world-acclaimed institutions like the GE Management Development Center in Crotonville, INSEAD, France, Wharton School, and the Lagos Business School, right here in Lagos. I started my working career at the Nigerian Petroleum Development Corporation, where I taught computer skills to the engineers and technicians and everybody who generally was interested. Since then, I worked at KP Furniture in Ibadan, the West African Batteries Limited, making Excite batteries, Schlumberger, where I was a drilling services engineer, General Electric, and most recently, Axela Limited, which was formerly known as Oando Gas and Power. While at these institutions, I've taught finance to postgraduate students, management science as well. Also taught test prep while in New York. I've worked as a carpenter. I've worked as a mechanic. I've worked as a business development manager where I took ideas from paper and took them to profit. I've built a business development organization within a gas distribution company where we've built pipelines across the country, including a 128-kilometer pipeline in the east of Nigeria.
Again, how will you talk to her? If you are talking to us as big as this, or so when you want to talk to again, how will you do that?
Maybe a bit.
Definitely, he has to apply amplifier to hear everything.
I'm trying to make sure nobody misses anything, and so if you want
just
to,
let us hear it clearly.
Okay. In addition to all of this, I'm a fitness enthusiast, which a lot of people seem to find very interesting. I've played semi-professional basketball. I have a black belt in Taekwondo. And more recently, I've been into endurance cycling. I'm married to Olayinka Odusote, and together we have 3 very lovely children. My foray into politics has been interesting. I mean, hitherto it was limited to making sure that I stayed at the polling station up until they finished counting the votes, take pictures of it, and post it to everyone.
You've been in politics before now. Do you go to campaign?
No, I don't. My politics is limited to strategy. And
okay, indoor politics.
Pretty much. Yeah. So that's who I am. Thank you very much.
You can go and take it. Adekemi, Ajayi, Bembe.
Right Honorable Mr. Speaker, Principal Officers, distinguished members of the House, good afternoon. My name is Adekemi Olanike Ajayi Bembe. I think it goes without saying to say that I am a Lagos indigene. On my father's side, I've descended from the 8th Obanikoro of Lagos, the first Ajayi Bembe,
My mother is from the Oshodi Takwa family. I was born on the 14th of March, 1966. Yes, I know I'm old. I was born on the 14th of March, 1966. I had my primary school education in Lagos at Home Science. Then I went to Holy Child College for 1 year before proceeding to the United Kingdom, where I did my O-levels and my A-levels. I then went to Imperial College of Science, Technology and Medicine, where I graduated with an upper second in biochemistry. I was meant to go to medical school, but I rebelled and decided to train as an accountant with ExxonMobil. Well, it was SOUK PLC then. It's now part of the ExxonMobil group. Upon qualifying as an accountant, I always had Nigeria, coming back to Nigeria in mind. So I said, okay, you've done oil. What else is booming? So I joined Morgan Stanley, one of the top American investment banking firms, in 1992. Whilst at Morgan Stanley, I managed foreign exchange risk, and I also worked in the investment management arm of the institution. After 9/11, I made the decision to return to Nigeria, where I have worked in a number of industries. I've worked in telecommunications, I have worked in financial services, and I've done a lot of strategic consulting. In terms of my core skills, obviously I've been working for over 30 years, 18 of that in leadership positions. My core skills center around corporate finance, capital raising, capital restructuring, project management, and strategic advisory. Whilst I was at Chapel Hill, which is really where the bulk of my capital raising career has been obtained, we've raised capital for banks, insurance companies, aviation companies. There's one sector that I've missed. Anyway, a number of sectors. What else can I say about myself? Sorry. So I'm also, I start again, sorry. So I've raised a lot of capital. I am involved in I've also been involved in a number of business architecture projects, which is in terms of just putting the right structures in place for businesses. In terms of my political career, I have none. I consider it, a great privilege to be called to serve the people of Lagos. I think the way I see it is that it is a privilege and not a right, even though I'm a Lagosian to the core. So I thank you. I thank the APC for the honor and the privilege to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. You can take your seat. Adeyoye Arabide.
Honorable Speaker, Principal Officers, Honorable Distinguished Honorable Members of this noble House. I think it's fine. Good afternoon, all. My name is Aramide Adeyoye. I was born on the 18th of May, 1967, to the family of late
attended Yewani Memorial Nursery and Primary School, James Robertson, Surulere. And when I finished thereafter, I proceeded on to Methodist Girls High School, Yaba, from 1977 to 1982, where I finished with grade 1. While there, I was the best student in physics, chemistry, further maths, and maths. I proceeded to the University of Lagos. Immediately thereafter, and I read civil engineering, graduating with a second-class honors upper in 1987. While there, I was a golf scholar. Well, they used to be called Golf Corporation then, but now Chevron. I was also a Lagos State Bursary Award winner, so that means I derived some benefit from Lagos State government in terms of financing my education then. I served in 1987 with Julius Berger Nigeria PLC. My career began thereafter, still with the same Julius Berger, on the Third Mainland Bridge project. I've had the privilege from now till now, as a resident engineer, as a civil engineer, as a project manager in the firm of Julius Berger for the last 32 years. I've had the privilege of working on numerous infrastructural projects in Lagos State. To mention a few, Bodilon Road, Kudirat-Abiola Road, Third Mainland Bridge, Lekki-Koyi Bridge, Mara Gardens, infrastructures in general. The last 4